Well, Snow White, long range tracking is really bad. Really, really, really bad. So this is interesting for a few reasons, because normally what happens in culture, you'll be able to back this up as well. I know, Bo, you're not massively familiar with this specifically, but what happens normally is long range tracking for a movie is actually quite high. Normally they track it quite high, right? So they go, yeah, it's going to open to $200 million. And then as they get closer, they revise it down, quite down, actually, like really, really, really low. Because then when the movie does come out and it goes above that, because they've revised it down, they go, oh, it smashed expectations, smashed the projections, guys. This is shockingly low. The projections on a long range forecast are atrocious, laughably so. In fact, it is genuinely looking like Snow White lose, and this is not an exaggeration. Somewhere comfortably between $100 to $200 million just gone, done. They've lost cash. It's insane. So what is it? Disney's long-awaited. Well, no, I'm quite long-awaiting it, to be honest. It will be quite funny. Live-action reboot of its 1937 animated classic Snow White doesn't open until March. However, box office forecasts are out, and Quorum reports a 3-day start. 3 days. This will also include previews, so it's technically 3.5/4 days. It's $63 to $70 million opening. This is obviously domestic, but this is what it always is. So this is just stateside. While other sources believe 65 million, just squarely in the middle, basically, just there. So 65 million, 63, 70 million. That's awful. That's genuinely bad. On every single level, that's bad. Now, interestingly, Deadline do a terrible comparison. And they compare it to Sleeping Beauty, which was released in 2014. That movie opened to $69.4 million, and that was in summer of 2014. Now, I hopped on a US inflation calculator for this specifically to figure out what it was. Well over $90 million it opened to. In today's money, that's what it would have been. Well over $90 million. So that's real bad. That's real bad. That's significantly worse than Sleeping Beauty live action spin-off. For a movie that cost $300 odd million easy.
Well,
this is atrocious.
Can I give a comparison for that year?
Yeah, sure. Be my guest.
Do you know what that also compares to? Guardians of the Galaxy, the #1 movie that year. That opened that opened at 94 million. So not that much more. What, 20 million more? So
yeah, but in
2014 dollars.
120 basically.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? It's like you start to look at it that way, what it compares to, and you're like, that was a flipping huge film, you know. So like that was the first Hunger Game, the year the first Hunger Games, the two-parter Mockingjay and the other one. That was the what made Lionsgate somewhat succful.
It's not worth comparing it to a franchise like that specifically.
Well, maybe not, but
at the end of a series of films.
Well, let's compare like for like then. Another Disney one-off film related to their fairy tales was Maleficent. Maleficent opened at 69 million.
Yeah, that's the Angelina Jolie Sleeping Beauty. That's Maleficent, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Well, they didn't put it that way, so that's my.
No, I know they would.
I wonder what you meant when you said Sleeping Beauty. I was like, what was that? That one completely passed me by. Maleficent, right. Well, did that make money? Just out of interest, did Maleficent make money in the end?
I don't think they have it listed what it went down. It went on to make a modest amount of money.
Okay. Well, then last comparison. The first Captain America, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, that opened to 95 million in 2014.
Yeah, again, that still would have been about $120 odd million, wouldn't it? So, overall, but I mean, it's awful. It's absolutely atrocious. Like, this is real bad. You know, the last figures that we had were in November. Bearing in mind, there's still more taxes to file. So this is because it's filmed in the UK, it's all public filing, you know, expenses basically to get a tax rebate. And by that point, they'd already spent $269.4 million. That was in November. There's still more to file. They're still going to file more, so it's going to go higher. Because that was only by the end of 2023. So we're going to end now 2024 into 2025. We're going to have more tax filings because they did reshoots in 2024.
A ton of reshoots.
They didn't stop filming. I think it was until summer, wasn't it? It was there another round of reshoots.
Yep.
So this is going to be insanely high. Like you can probably bet it'll be about the $300 million mark, and they've still got marketing on top of it. So even if you're being really generous, let's say it's $400 million, that's $800 million to start breaking even. I'm being really generous. That's $800 million to break even. On its opening weekend, it's making $30 million for Disney. $32.5 million for Disney. Because they've got a split with the theatres, 50-50. It's shithouse. So bad. So bad.
So the bottom line is it will lose money. Almost certainly.
I would be really surprised if it didn't. I'd be really surprised if it didn't lose any money. There we have Sid the Sloth and the counterpart there. So what do you guys think? Thought this would be a fun one to kickstart.
This film's doomed. This film's doomed. There's no opportunity for it to eclipse its budget. The buzz around this is negative, not just because of, you know, this unlikable actress, but because the plot has been, you know, largely out there for a while. We're going to get, you know, Snow White warrior princess, you know, leader of the communist revolution or the socialist revolution or whatever. You know, she's got her merry band of freedom fighters. And I don't think this is going to be anything that anybody's interested in. She has nothing in common with Disney's original. And essentially the only reason that Disney continued its existence is film. Going back to that old relic that she throws so much shade at, which I think is a classic film that shouldn't have been remade in any way. And I hold Bob Iger personally responsible for this insult. And I think that when this flops as spectacularly as it will, I'm very much hoping that they find a way to expedite his exit. Mr. H, you are making me dizzy, sir.
All right, sorry. It was zoomed out, so I was just trying to zoom it back in. Look.
Can anyone Photoshop a Black Bob haircut onto Sid? Yeah, nobody likes her, and that's sort of the least of it. It seems like to me. Yeah, Snow Brown. I saw someone say in the chat. I also saw Shay White. That was quite funny. But yeah, so it needs to do really well to make decent money, and everything you're saying suggests it's not going to. And well, it couldn't happen to a better project, really, could it? Because it's pure subversion from start to finish, right? It's weird. It's weird to try and subvert Snow White in such a way.
It's evil.
Like, yeah.
It's such an innocently weak, like it's innocently simplistic story, you know, for about true love. So, you know, and yeah, it was weird. This whole bizarre. What is that?
You know, there's nothing better than
this is for you, Bo. I'm going to send you one of these T-shirts. This is Shay White.
Wow, it's already happened. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. We made these T-shirts a couple of years ago now. So here you go. So, yeah, I'll send you one. So yeah.
She could probably grow a better tash than the real Che Guevara.
You mentioned it. I'm like, hey, I've got this. You know, yeah, I think you can still order them on the Beach Punk website, but yeah, crazy stuff.
But it is sort of a pure subversion for the sake of it, and sort of a sort of specifically Western civilization and culture, isn't it? But it's just it's sort of just perverse. It's like remaking Jaws or something, and the shark is the good guy, or something. You know, like what? Why are you doing that? And yeah, like as you say, like innocent and about true love, and
Jaws fighting
it's
against
really
climate
wholesome.
change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saving a coral reef at a time. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I mean it is like the but that's seemingly what they were doing with all of these Disney properties, because I think they did the same thing with that Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid one was very similar. They removed the love element from it, I think, didn't they? Because they were like, no, she's not going to give up her. Is it culture? Is this right? Like, am I on the right track here with this? You need to chime in with this one.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, the Halle Bailey remake of Little Mermaid, the live action, they kind of extricated a lot of the romance, and she was certainly going to save herself. You know, and all of the other things that went along with that. They did their very best to not have any kind of a romance. So this is the neo-Marxist way, kids. This is you know, this is what you can expect from Disney now. We're a good little neo-Marxist. There you go.
It's interesting, also, like in sorry.
I was just going to say, also, they've banked that much money on someone that has literally never been a successful movie star.
Oh, she's been god awful. I mean, name a successful film that was profitable that she's been in.
Yeah, I don't know of one. I mean, did that Hunger Games one she was in, did that even make any money? I don't know. I was taken to the cinema to see that one, and it was
made a tiny profit, but it was long, that was only because it was made for dirt cheap, like dirt cheap.
Right. That's what I honestly think they should do. I've said that before, but start making the budgets a lot smaller if you want to actually make money. But it seems like, you know, they're not that interested in making money. They even explicitly say it from time to time, don't they? These sort of neo-Marxist production houses. They say, no, it's about the narrative more than making money. Well, you'll only be able to get away with that for so long until you go bust, right? We live in a capitalist society. Sorry, not sorry, right? But yeah, as when the neo-Marxist term came up, I immediately thought of sort of in Maoist China, women were expected to do as much labor in the fields as men, or in Stalinist Russia during the war, women were expected to fight alongside the men in combat and stuff. And so, yeah, you're not the ideal of being sort of a female, feminine type role model, living a female life, of being a Snow White type person. Yeah, that's not okay anymore in their worldview. To be subservient to a man in any way, shape, or form. And it's against like the human nature. Right?
Yeah,
we've had millions and millions of years of evolution to have it the way it is, or the way it always used to be. So I mean, you can only fight against reality for so long.
Now they know better, though. Come on, now they know better.
The new human. I don't want to get all into sort of leftist political philosophy or anything, but yeah, like the new man, the new people, the destruction of the family, all these types of things. It's commie 101. It really is. It always has been.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. This is going to bomb. This is going to be hilarious. We'll cover it. In fact, I think on Thursday's show, so it's a shame you're not going to be here, Bo. Thursday's show, I think that they have got the it's coming out for one of them. So not for this one specifically, but we'll be covering it. It'll be hilarious. But Captain America, that's another film which is, you know, doing very, very similar sort of strategy as this with this marketing campaign. I'm pretty certain it's on Thursday that they'll be releasing all of the reviews So that'll be hilarious just to see what people actually think of that. It'll be similar to this, exactly the same kind of thing. And that's had a similar budget as well. Just mental numbers, mental numbers. But there you go. Anyway, we will move on from this now. I thought this was a fun way to start. Let's move Sid the Sloth there.